Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Now recently a lot of you guys have been asking how to recreate some of our classic Guyanese dishes and make them just a little healthier. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing my recipe for a whole wheat Sada Roti. Now in this video, I'm going to be using half whole wheat flour and half all-purpose flour, but if you wanted to make it fully whole wheat, feel free to do that as well. Now I'm being honest guys, not all of my Sada Rotis puffed up today, and I'm going to show you guys that not all of them did. I just wanted to show that not all of us are perfect, and even though I have more practice, doesn't mean that all of my food always comes out to the best that it could be. But anyways, I'm still going to share with you guys. We all learn from our mistakes, and I hope you enjoy this soft and delicious Sada Roti recipe. Alright everyone, so this video is not going to be fully step-by-step, it's going to be a little quicker than some videos. If you want to see a very in-depth step-by-step version on how to put together Sada Roti, check out my regular version for Sada Roti I have on my channel. It's basically the exact same preparation, just the fact that I'm using some whole wheat flour in this one. So in my bowl here, I have my whole wheat flour, I have my all-purpose flour. Again, if you wanted to use fully all whole wheat flour, feel free to do so as well. And I'm going in with some baking powder and some salt. And as usual, all of my ingredients and the proper measurements will be down in the description box below the video. So once you click below the video, you'll see all of that and you can use those ingredients to put this dish together. Now once you add all of these ingredients into the bowl, you're going to mix it up really well with your fingers. And once all of your dry ingredients are mixed thoroughly, you're going to go in with some warm water. Remember from my regular Sada Roti video and any roti that I make, you never want to use cold water when mixing your doughs. The reason why is because it can make your dough very tough and you can end up with a hard product in the end. We definitely want soft Sada Rotis by the time this is done. So I'm going to continue adding it in until I get a nice soft, semi-sticky dough. And once your dough comes together really well and is just a little bit sticky, not overly sticky, you're going to go ahead and start kneading it. You want to get it into a nice smooth ball. So what I'm doing here is my classic punching method. I'm punching it and then I'm gathering around the sides to go ahead and flip it back over. You never want to fold the dough onto itself because if you do, you will get a tough product in the end. So you guys can go ahead and thank Grammy for this amazing tip. So I've been kneading for about 4 minutes at this point. As you guys can see, my Sada Roti is nice and smooth on the top. It's no longer sticking to my fingers or to the sides of the bowl. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is cover this bowl with a damp paper towel or a kitchen towel, or you can use plastic wrap, and you're going to let it sit for about 30 minutes. You definitely want to let your Sada Roti dough rest because you need those glutens to relax to go ahead and get really soft Sada Rotis. Once your Sada Roti dough has rested for about 20 to 30 minutes, you're going to go ahead and lay it out onto your surface. And once you lay it out onto your surface, you're going to go ahead and break it up into balls. Now, the amount of Sada Rotis you get from this recipe totally depends. You're going to see how many I get from this recipe, but you might get some more, you might get a little less, just depending on how big you like your Sada Rotis. I don't like to make mine super big just because I feel like it's a lot of dough, but you can make them whatever size you want and based on the size of your tawa. So this right here is a very important part. Once you break them up into balls, you're going to go ahead and take it in between your two hands and you're going to go ahead and fold it onto itself. The reason why we do this is to go ahead and seal the roti, and then we're going to pinch together all of the sides. We have to seal it so this way the rotis will puff up. Now I'm being very honest, this is the reason why a lot of our Sada Rotis don't puff up all of the time. It's because sometimes we might not seal it up correctly, but honestly, whatever way you make the Sada Roti, you will definitely get a soft product if you follow all of my different tips. Now once you get all of your balls into smooth balls just like how I made there, you're going to cover it again with a damp paper towel or some plastic wrap, and you're going to let it rest for another 20 to 30 minutes so this way those glutens can relax. Again, in order for you to get soft Sada Rotis, you have to allow those glutens to relax. Once all of your dough balls have rested for another 20 to 30 minutes, you're going to go ahead and take the first one that you had rolled out, you're going to put it onto a lightly floured surface and you're going to roll it out. Now remember, when you're making Sada Roti, you cannot make it too thin because if you make it too thin, they will not puff up. So what I like to do is make it to about 1/4 to 1/2 inch thickness. It depends on your thickness that you like. I like them on the thinner side but not too thin. Some people like them really thick, almost like bread. Just do it as per your own preferences. And guys, don't worry if that roti is not round, it's about the taste that matters. So I've got my Sada Roti all rolled out. Another tip I wanted to give you guys is that you have to make sure that you're very even with your rolling pin as you're rolling it out. If some parts are thicker or thinner than other parts and it's not even, your Sada Roti will not puff up. So make sure to watch out for that. So I'm going to put it onto my hot tawa. You don't want the tawa to be too hot. You want it to be just on a medium heat, because if it's too hot, the Sada Rotis will cook way too fast on one side and they will not puff up either. After about 30 seconds, you're going to see some bubbles start to form. You do not want big bubbles, nor do you want a whole bunch of tiny bubbles studded throughout the Sada Roti. You just want to make sure that there are a few good sized bubbles on the top, and then you can gently flip it. You have to be gentle, because if you're not gentle enough, it will actually cause the Sada Roti to tear. You won't see the tear, but it won't have the Sada Roti pop up, and that's how you'll know that it did tear. And once you flip your Sada Roti over, you're just going to go ahead and move it around with your fingers a little bit just to get it even cooking. And you're going to allow it to cook on that side for maybe about a minute, and then we can go ahead and sake it or puff it up. The first way to sake or puff up your Sada Roti is to put it on a wire rack directly on top of your stove, or you can put it directly on your gas flame on your stove. And you want to make sure it's on a high heat or it will not puff up. Another method here in the US is to go ahead and pop it in the microwave, and you go ahead and leave it in there for maybe about 20 to 30 seconds until it puffs up as well. And once all of your Sada Rotis are done, the way that I like to serve them is to go ahead and cut them into 4 and then serve it just like that, so everybody can go ahead and take the amount that they want. I just wanted to cut into it and show you exactly what my Sada Roti looks like. As you guys can see, it didn't puff up that much because, again, we are all not perfect, but the Sada Roti was very nice and soft in the middle. So once again, I hope you all enjoyed this quick video for my whole wheat Sada Roti. They were super soft, super delicious, and they soaked up all of my dishes that I ate with it really well. So if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a nice big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed yet, and of course keep leaving your amazing comments down below. Let me know what you guys would like to see next, and I'll see you guys again very soon in my next video. Bye everyone!